Last time every team scored 50 or more points. Without further ado, let's get into this. We're starting off first with the Ravens, and the last time they scored more than 50 points was week 17 of this previous season when they beat the Dolphins 56-19. Last year, Lamar Jackson won MVP, and this game shows that as he threw for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Also, for some reason, when it comes time to December, the Dolphins just suck. Next, we have the Raiders, and we go back 2 weeks to week 15 where they beat the Chargers 63-21 in one of the most bizarre games, I would say, of all time. For one, you look at the starting quarterbacks for this game, it was Easton Stick and Aiden O'Connell, as Justin Herbert from the Chargers got hurt, I think, the week prior, and the Raiders, well, they just had a crappy quarterback situation. Not only that, but just the week prior, the Vikings beat the Raiders 3-0, so the Raiders went from that to a 63-21 blowout win. Truly one of the weirdest two-game stretches maybe in sports history. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins, and if you were a fan of football last year, there's no way you don't know this game. The infamous 70-20 game against the Broncos in week 3. There is so much to be said about this game, but if you want to know a lot about it, go check out That's Good Sports video about it. You've probably heard of him if you're watching this video. It's a great video, go check that out, but watch this video first. I need the views more. Next up, we have the LA Rams, who beat the Denver Broncos 51-14 in week 16 of 2022, which was on Christmas Day, and the Broncos on the wrong side of things yet again. There were just so many random things about this game. I mean, that 50-point game should even have happened in the first place. This was the battle of arguably the two most disappointing teams in the NFL that season, and not only that, this game was on Nickelodeon, so Baker Mayfield, after the game, won Nickelodeon MVP. Also, after this game, Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett was fired, so it just makes everything more bizarre about this game. Next up, we have my team, the Dallas Cowboys, and the last time we scored 50 points came in week 13 of 2022 against the Colts, and fun fact, this was the third time in the previous 2 seasons we had scored 50 or more. First off, entering the fourth quarter, the score was only 21-19, and then we'd go on to score 33 points alone in the fourth quarter, making the score 54-19 at the very end of the game. Not only that, but Malik Hooker, who was the starting safety for us, who was also the former starting safety for the Colts, would have a revenge game against his former team, and DaRon Bland, this was pretty much his coming out in the game. He didn't actually come out, but he showed out, I guess. Next up, we have the Seahawks, which took place in week 17 of 2021, where they beat the Lions 51-29. This was a very random game as both teams were bad at this point, and not only that, Tim Boyle was starting for the Lions, and this was the last great game Russell Wilson had with the Seahawks. That same week, the Patriots had their most recent 50-point outing as they beat the Jaguars 50-10. What a blowout. This was pretty much the story of that season. The Jaguars were the worst team in the NFL. The Patriots were better. They made the playoffs, and that's about it for this game. Last time the Bills scored 50 was week 17 of 2020, where they beat their division rival Dolphins 56-26. I know we should be focusing on the Bills, but this is a really interesting case for the Dolphins, where this was the last game of the season and rookie Tua was starting, and he was absolutely exposed. He did not have a good game, and this might have been a foreshadowing of his career where he struggles in cold weathered games and clutch situations. But not only that, this game was to make the postseason for the Dolphins, and despite going 10-6, and despite the fact that there's 14 teams in the postseason now, they'd still miss the postseason, which is absolutely insane. Last time the Saints scored 50 or more was week 16 of 2020 on Christmas Day when they beat the Vikings 52-33. This game is most well known by Alvin Kamara scoring 6 touchdowns in this game, and this was taking place during Fantasy Football Championship, so if you had him playing, yeah, you most likely won. Last time the 49ers scored 50 or more points came in week 8 of 2019 when they beat the Panthers 51-13. Yeah, in 2019, Cam Newton was pretty much hurt the whole season, so Kyle Allen led the Panthers to a 4-2 start, but this game they lost, and they were bad for the rest of the year. Last time the Texans scored 50 or more came in week 5 of 2019 against the Falcons, where they won 53-32. Deshaun Watson pre-massaged allegations or whatever, threw 5 touchdowns today, and 3 of them were to Will Fuller, and if you remember Will Fuller, you're a real one. I miss him. He was really good for my fantasy team. I miss him. Last time the Bucks scored 50 or more came against the Rams in Week 4 of 2019, where they won 55-40. This season for the Bucks was a roller coaster of a ride, especially for Jameis Winston, who, if you don't know, finished with 33 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, which is absolutely insane. But this game was one of the better ones. Over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 pick. Last time the Chiefs scored over 50 points was that historic game against the Rams where they lost 54-51. Yeah, before the game even started, it was being hyped up to be one of the best games of all time, and it turned out to be that way, as it was so good that the Chiefs scored 51 points and still lost. Last time the Steelers scored 50 or more came in a Thursday night football game against the Panthers in Week 10 of 2018, where they beat them 52-21. This was one of Big Ben's last great games, 328 yards, 5 touchdowns, and Josh Dobbs had 2 passing attempts and went for -3 yards, which is very interesting. Last time the Chargers scored 50 or more came in Week 11 of 2017, where they beat the Bills 54-24. This was the infamous Nathan Peterman game, where for some reason they decided to bench Tyrod Taylor before the game and start a rookie named Nathan Peterman, who threw 5 interceptions, and after 5 interceptions, they decided to bench him for Tyrod Taylor, which, I mean, it should have never happened. This was terrible. Last time the Eagles scored 50 or more points came against the Broncos in Week 9 of 2017, where they won 51-23. Those are fireworks in the background, so yeah. That was the Carson Wentz MVP season, which I made a video about Carson Wentz. You should definitely check that out after this video. The last time the Jags scored 50 or more points came in Week 15 of 2015 against the Colts, where they won 51-16. And the Jaguars, they're just a different beast when it comes to playing the Colts at home. And not only that, but a Blake Bortles-led Jaguar team scored 51 points. That's insane to think about. Last time the Packers scored 50 or more points came against the Eagles in Week 11 of 2014, where they won 53-20. Yeah, if you still hear fireworks going on, I can't really control that, and I really want to get this video done. But anyway, there's a lot of things to take away from here. 1, this was a back-to-back game. The Packers scored 50 or more points. 2, this is during the Aaron Rodgers MVP season. And 3, they won and played this game in those hideous uniforms. I think y'all can still hear fireworks, which I don't understand because it's literally July 5th. It's the day after 4th of July. I don't know why they're still going off, but anyway, let's get this video done. The last time the Falcons scored more than 50 points came in Week 3 of 2014 when they beat their division rival Bucks 56-14. Okay, I'm gonna try to talk over the fireworks, but this game is most notable for Devin Hester becoming the all-time leader in punt return touchdowns, or might have been kick return or both combined, something like that. Fireworks are still happening and they're pretty loud. I think they might be even louder this time. But anyway, last time the Broncos scored more than 50 points was Week 14 of 2013 when they beat the Titans 51-28. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's crazy. But anyway, the most notable part about this game was Matt Prater's 64-yard field goal, which at the time was an NFL record, but we all know that was broken by Justin Tucker a few years ago. Last time the Giants had a 50-point outing was Week 14 of 2012 when they beat the Saints 52-27. This great win would have proved the Giants to an 8-5 record, but however, they would collapse after this and only finish 9-7 and completely miss the playoffs after winning the Super Bowl the year prior. Last time the Bears scored 50 or more points came in Week 9 of 2012 when they beat the Titans 51-20. Similar to the Giants, the Bears won this game and they went to 7-1, but afterwards they finished the season 10-6 and completely missed the postseason altogether. That's a crazy collapse. Last time the Cardinals had a 50-point game was against the Packers in the 2010 wildcard game, where they won 51-45 in overtime in one of the craziest playoff games in recent memory. Like I said, it was a crazy game, and it came down to the last play where in overtime the Packers punter fumbled the snap and it landed in the hands of Carlos Dansby, and he returned it for a touchdown, and that's how the game ended. Last time the Jets had a 50-point game comes all the way back in 2008, where they beat the Cardinals, ironically, 56-35. Despite not even throwing for 300 yards, Brett Favre would throw for 6 touchdowns, and it was a pretty good game for him. However, if you know anything about this season for the Jets, it would end horribly. Last time the Browns had a 50-point game came in Week 2 of 2007, where they beat the Bengals 51-45. What a crazy game. This 2007 Browns team was really random. They almost made the playoffs despite having Derek Anderson at quarterback, who won this game, threw for 5 touchdowns. I mean, it's very random. Wow, it's not like Biden right now. Last time the Commanders, well, I guess they're the Redskins during this time. The last time they had a 50-point game was all the way back in 05. So this was back before I was born. We're getting in that territory. And they beat the 49ers 52-17. This was the year Alex Smith was a rookie, and he did not have a good season. The last time the Colts scored 50 or more points came in Week 13 of 2004 when they beat their division rivals, the Titans, 51-24. A 50-point outing by the Colts in 2004, you'd probably think Peyton Manning would have a lot bigger part to do with that, and he did throw for 425 yards, but a 3-touchdown to 2-interception ratio, that's not great looking. Cut 2 weeks prior, and the Bengals last time they scored 50 points or more came in Week 12 where they beat the Browns 58-48. I have no idea what it is with the Bengals and Browns going up against each other and scoring a lot of points. We have to go all the way back to 2002 for the last time the Panthers at least had a 50 burger, where they beat the Bengals 52-31. What is with the Bengals being on here a lot as of late? I have no idea. Also, that's a terrible record, 1-12. Last time the Vikings had a 50 burger came all the way back in Week 16 of 1998 when they beat the Jaguars 50-10, and it makes sense the Vikings had a 50 bomb this year. They'd go on to be 15-1 and be one of the best teams of all time to never win a Super Bowl. Our second to last team is the Lions, and the last time they had a 50-point bomb was Week 14 of 1997, where they beat the Bears 55-20, and hopefully next season that's going to change. I think it definitely can. They're very good last year, and they're going to be very good next year. I think it's very possible. And our last team is the Tennessee Titans, and they haven't had a 50-point bomb since 1990 when they were still the Houston Oilers, which is absolutely insane. But they beat the Browns 58-14. Titans, please get your money up or whatever. I don't even know. Get your points up, I guess. And that's going to be the end of my video. Bye.